Hello, everybody. Oh, my camera is blurry. Hi, how you doing? It's so nice to see you again. It's been a while.
I know, it's been a long while.
Trying to figure out what I can do about lights.
Yeah,
I am not in my bedroom.
light's all behind me.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Let me see. Let me figure out. Direct. Yeah, I'm gonna turn it down. It's not gonna help. This will help. Light behind me will just make it worse. Hello. Is that a little bit better? I don't know.
It's good enough. We see you.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen me once, you've seen me 1,000 times. I mean, I really haven't changed that much. So we've got Sharon, Tish, and Lonnie, who are all off camera. Hi, how are you? Nice to see your face in the place. We've got, it's just now 6 o'clock. So for the next 30 minutes, it's just idle chit chat and jibber jabber while everyone gets in. And I guess eventually people will start getting credentialed. We'll see. Hi, Wanda. Thank you for joining the party.
Yes, ma'am. When they mentioned it at the Martin Luther King Democratic Club meeting, I asked them to drop it in the chat.
Oh, and they
So
did?
that I can be a part of it. Because I heard you were the president. Congratulations.
Thank you.
But I had no idea what, when, where. So It was good when I showed up to the meeting.
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you here.
Well, thank you.
I'm going to turn my picture off because I'm going to be eating my dinner.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll see you again in about 30 minutes.
Yes, you will.
Okay, we got more people coming in.
So, Dr. Lawana, can you drop the information for the membership?
Absolutely. In fact, I'll be doing that repeatedly today because we have endorsement votes coming up. And so people who want to vote need to get their membership in order.
Okay. And then if it's okay, if I can drop a flyer in the chat.
Yeah, so we're going to open up with there's going to be some announcements. There's going to be some candidate announcements. There's going to be some stuff from elected officials. So, yeah.
Oh, all that stuff that I hear when I go to all the other meetings. Okay, then there it is.
Yeah, and links tend to work better than flyers because a lot of times people are joining in from their phone. Hi, Yvonne and Sarah and Nadia and Michelle.
Hello.
Let's see here. Let me turn my volume up a little bit. All right. So
I have a question.
I hope
Am I doing the bylaw thing too, or just the endorsement?
That would have been good for you to know before today, huh?
So both, okay. Is that what you want me to do?
That or if there's someone else on the committee, I mean, that actually worked on it. I think the change is pretty straightforward. I know when we had our practice vote at the last meeting, people didn't really have questions.
I love it. It was a practice vote.
It was a practice vote.
All right. I just got to go gather things together. I'll be here.
Okay, no worries. Let me make Rosamond. Hi, Rosamond. It's nice to see your face. Did you get the receipt I sent you? Is that a yes? Where are you? Oh, here we go. Boom. All right. Doing all the important things. Rosamond, are you still muted? Oh, you're going back and forth. Are you double clicking or something? You're not muted right now. If you say something, we should be able to hear you.
Hi, how are you guys?
We can hear your voice. I was gonna say we can hear your face. We can hear the words coming out of your mouth. So my day
Yeah, I
started
don't
at
know what's
5
going
a.m.
on.
Yeah.
Lonnie,
You make me can you make me a co-host so I can start logging people in?
I sure can. I think I accidentally made the wrong person a co-host because the thing moved. I fixed it though. All right, here we go.
Lonnie, your name reminds me of my brother-in-law. I actually thought you were his wife, Lonnie Lucas, and I was like, ooh, Lucas is on here.
Please invite her. Tell her to come next time. It'd be interesting to see two Lonnie Lucases on the screen.
Yeah.
So now when someone says you did something, you're like, no, it was the other Lonnie Lucas.
Oh yeah, there's another Lonnie Lucas, male.
Mm,
He's a male though.
this is a female.
Another female Lonnie Lucas?
Yes.
Spelled the same?
No, I know another male,
Oh, you're-
Lonnie Lucas.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying
My
his wife.
brother-in-law.
Is he a
Yeah.
rapper?
He's retired now. You wouldn't probably know who he is. He lives in Sierra Mesa, him and his wife, older. So yeah.
Let's see here. Yay. All right. So I'm going to try not to be too dry. I've been going since 5 a.m. and not on a whole lot of caffeine. So at some point I may get a little goofy. I hope you all understand and forgive me. I'm running on a little sleep. All right. So, all right. So we got people chatting back and forth. You know, this is a good time to talk. I mean, you know, we just to give you a preview, we're not going to have a regular program. Like we're not having a guest speaker today. Today, you guys are stuck with me. I'm going to do a presentation that I adapted from Toastmasters Moments of Truth to kind of talk to all of you and hopefully get some feedback from you about the club and what we can do better, what we're doing well, what you'd like us to see, you know, just there's a, you know, it'll be your opportunity to say what you like.
Nadia was the person that dropped the information in the
Okay.
chat for Martin Luther King on Saturday. So thank you.
Thank you, Nadia.
Marquetta, hello.
Your service, President.
Well, you know, it's always nice when you have a good team working with you so that like you don't have to be perfect. Thank goodness no one expects me to be because y'all would be greatly disappointed. Human. Marquetta, welcome to the party. Let's see, we still got people coming. Oh, wow. At first I saw Sarah Ochoa and I was like, oh, this is a new person. I was like, oh, okay. I know who that is.
Dr. Richmond, do you want me to verify people?
Yeah, I think Rosamond's doing credentialing. It's popping up.
Yeah, I'm doing the credentialing now.
Do you need help, Rosamond? Okay,
No.
okay. Hi, Sarah. It's nice to see your name.
Nice to be here, Dr. Richmond. I'll say hi real quick while I'm multitasking over here.
Oh, wow. I see your face. Oh my gosh.
Mwah.
Ah, mwah.
Thank you, Madam President.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really glad that you fit us in. I know what it's like with even a not so new baby.
Yes, this one is just getting more busy. Like the couch in the living room, it's
Mhm.
like a convertible, can go down to like a bed or whatever. I did that because every time I turned my back, the baby was like jumping on the couch today. I'm like, let me just lower it. Like, I'll just,
Oh, wow.
just go ahead, trampoline away, kid.
I remember. I remember those days.
Yeah, that's where we're at. That's a snapshot of my life today. It's great. It's great.
You're
Happy,
wearing
healthy,
it well.
vibrant little child. So
Yes. I hear happy, vibrant little child noises in the background.
yeah, they're cruising around with a piece of celery.
Yeah, I remember wishing that my kids would like do something other than lay there in the bassinet. I was like, I'll be so happy when I see crawling and other activities. And then I realized that meant I had to like keep up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Today I got a shower while the baby had a nap. I was like, wow, this is like a thing that can happen. Why don't we do this more often? This is great.
Gotta time it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you, of course, as always, for all you do and for holding down this club. I'm sorry I don't make it as often as I would like, but it's nice to be here tonight.
Well, it's good to see you. This is our last meeting of the calendar year.
Oh, good. I made a good one then.
Yeah, you made a good one. And, I guess if I was a more festive person, we'd be having a party instead of a Moments of Truth meeting. But, I'm not so festive, so why pretend?
One person's version of a party is, I'm down. I'm here for that.
You're here for that?
I'd rather moments of truth than,
Than hours of
mincing
BS.
words. Yeah. I think you have a sense of me by now. Just, speak the truth in love. And if
Yeah.
we have love for our community, then we'll speak the truth.
Yeah, and all we can do is get better, right?
Yep.
And the way you do that is part of how you get better is with truth. What is it? The Truth and Reconciliation Committee. No, it's not that deep. Nobody committed genocide in our club, as far as I know.
Well, I appreciate your leadership. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Hi, Cody. I don't see your twin in the background.
Oh, I closed the door, sealed myself off from the enemy. They'll storm it
Whoa.
soon. How are
Look
you doing,
who's
Lon?
here.
It's good seeing you.
It's good to be seen. I warned everybody that I might get a little silly because I've been going since 5 this
Oof.
morning. I did a 4-mile walk around Lake Murray at 6.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is this part of a program? Are you?
Sometimes I just need to walk.
Yeah.
And it's better if I take a walk first thing in the day because, everything starts, get the blood pumping.
Oh yeah. Those dawn walks are great too. You still see some wildlife from the night before, and
Yeah, watching the sun come up over the lake is beautiful. Let's see here, we're at 6:12. Lonnie asked me if I was gonna play music. I told her I wasn't a very good DJ, so.
You're great.
So I guess we have to talk to each other. Oh my God. Perish the thought. Anybody have any good stories or any great, anything that we're grateful for that's happened since the last time we were all together?
That we're back together again.
All right, good answer, Yvonne. All right. Any other gratitude in the space?
That we're boosted.
Yeah, I got my boost.
Me too.
All right. Okay, beautiful things happening. Let's see. Well, there's always art. How many artists do we have in the room? Okay, I see one hand up. I kind of see Lonnie's hand moving. Cody, are you an artist? Are you nodding because you're an artist, sort of?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess that counts.
Okay. I went to Michael's today. And it's like a playground because, get inspired. Oh, I could buy all of this equipment and start a business because I have time for that, right? But you can always find a new hobby at Michael's.
We did a Michael's trip with, and we made snow globes, DIY snow globes.
Oh, sweet.
So yeah.
So what did you use for your snow?
Glitter,
Okay,
lots of glitter.
all right.
And a little Santa Claus and a deer and some epoxy, 2-part epoxy.
Wow. Oh, you got fancy.
It's pretty fancy. Some
Huh,
pretty fancy stuff here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little pipe cleaners.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I got reminded to do some shameless plugs because you guys know I don't really do a whole lot of stuff, but I have a couple of events coming up. One is Thursday. It's a community building event. I'm doing a workshop at 1835 Studios on 19th and Imperial. It's at 1 p.m. Thursday. And I'll be talking about theory, tools, techniques, and tips for building community, whether it's with your customers, your neighbors, your coworkers. And the whole principle of it is that, when we build community, not only does it make everybody better, it makes us better. And so if we could be intentional about building community, we could maybe make some things happen that we want to see happen. Because most of us, the things we want to see happen, other people want to see those things happen too. So you build community with like-minded people, then you get to make like-minded things happen. And then on Saturday, I'm launching the Black Speculative Arts Movement's San Diego chapter. What is the Black Speculative Arts Movement, you might wonder? It's basically a global network of artists, writers, futurists, and content creators who are focused on images of Black people in the future. Ideally, I tend to be an Afro-optimist, or some people who are Afro-pessimists. So the visions of the future go from dystopian to utopian and everything in between. But the whole idea is to get people to think about the future, because then you reverse engineer what you visualize to either make it happen or prevent it from happening, depending on, your point of the, what side of the coin you're on.
Can you put the links in the
Oh, I was just asked to put links in the chat. Oh, the easiest link, I'm going to tell you guys, there's a secret code to know like what I'm up to. It's a website that I don't really promote. I just kind of use it as a placeholder, but it always has all my stuff on it because that's where I go when I need to give people links. But if you know the cheat code, you can just go there and be like, oh, this is what she's doing now.
Luana, one of the things I was really impressed by at that I Am Green, was that right?
Yeah.
The I Am Green event.
You go Arts in the Park.
That the intersectionality there was like really impressive, like the dance and the slam poetry and the food and the vendors. It's like you don't really see that kind of intersectionality so much in the sort of affluent white Sierra Club environmental movement. It would be great to
You could go to OB and see some of that though.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But yeah, most people don't know I'm a poet. I said that out loud. I mean, but if you think about it, if you really, really think about it, and you pay attention to the way that I communicate, you will realize that I've always been a poet.
Mm.
But it's okay. But buy my books. No, I'm just kidding. So let's see, we're at 6:17. Hi, Barbara. It's so nice to see you. I love when people come in, they turn on their camera and let us see their smiles, because a big part of building community is actually seeing each other, because it's so easy to be disconnected when all of your interaction is through the screen with the camera off.
I agree. Nice to see so many people here already, early.
Yeah, well, this is the last meeting of the calendar year. And I didn't really put it on the agenda, and I don't know if word got out, but I'm the presenter today.
Oh.
And I'm gonna do this thing called Moments of Truth that we used to do in Toastmasters. Well, they still do it. But what I did is I took the Toastmasters content and adapted it to kind of fit what our needs and priorities are. And I'm just gonna use it to guide a discussion. I'm gonna put some things out and I'm gonna ask, what do you think? What do you think we should do? And I'm just looking for ideas, because the club is more than just the executive board. And as we approach the coming new year and we're thinking about filling officer positions, and we think about, you know, even what we're going to do, you know, with this upcoming election year. Are we going to be actively engaged in getting out the vote, or are we just going to, you know, kind of let people come and make announcements and we give endorsements and, you know, let them go on their merry way, or somewhere in between? You know, there's a lot of things we could do.
Mhm.
The big part is, you know, there's no I in team. So if we come together and decide we are going to do something, then we'll do it, make it happen, and hopefully have some fun while we do it.
Very important to have fun.
Yes. And, you know, so many of us have been vaccinated, and at this point, many of us have now been booster shotted. Boosted. Yeah, I've been watching it. You know, maybe we could do something in person one day, because it's been so long since we've like seen each other. I'll let you guys on a secret. Members of the board, we've seen each other.
Good.
But we'd like to see you, we'd miss you, but we also understand that, you know, people want to be safe, and we don't want anyone to do anything that makes them feel uncomfortable.
Luana,
Yes,
Dr. Richmond,
yes.
I had an experience this week about connecting with people, and I keep trying to think about this because I don't know a lot of people in different areas, and sometimes when I go to events, I'm the only person I know there.
Oh,
And so I was at one this week, and something I noticed that if you don't say anything for a long period of time, other people start to talk. You know, but you have to be I was in proximity to people. I wasn't trying to talk to them. I had something to eat and things like that. I was at the Veterans of Foreign Wars in Escondido. And they had picnic tables set up and a really nice ceremony and things. And I ate, and I'm, you know, just kind of by myself. I don't really know anybody there. So, but I was standing watching after a while and just, you know, chilling. And then soon there were like a couple of people talking to each other, but they were like near me now. And I don't know how that happened or not. And then somehow you know, it started a little bit of a conversation, but I really didn't say anything. I was just listening. And it was like 20 minutes, just kind of standing and watching and listening. And it's just one of those things that sometimes I was thinking whether silence, when you're near people, breaks down some of those barriers. And I wondered what you thought.
so I thought you were trying to tell me to shut up nicely.
You see how I get misunderstood all the time.
I'm just kidding. I couldn't resist. But seriously, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And if we are fortunate, we can learn some and give people an opportunity, because there are some people who are not so quick to like jump in and shout, you know, do all this stuff. And some are the most thoughtful people on the planet who, given the opportunity, could spread joy and light. So yeah, silence is a beautiful thing. I see your hand up. Are you raising your hand for when we get to?
So sorry, Madam President. I just wanted to point out the point earlier you were making about potentially coming back to in-person meetings. One of your fellow club presidents on this call, Nadia Kinayub, they did a hybrid meeting this last week for the first time. So she might be able to shed some light on how that works. And like laptop setup, but if she wanted to speak to that, you know, there might be some opportunities for folks to continue to Zoom from the comfort of their couch, and others to mingle and fellowship in person.
I love it. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will definitely have to have long conversations with Madam President Nadia to get some insight. Unless you'd just like to share now, we've got 7 minutes.
If it's okay, I can share. Hi, everyone. So, the East Lake Bonita Democratic Club, we do have a lot of our members that unfortunately don't know how to utilize Zoom, aren't really aware of the mechanics. So they've kind of missed out on the last year and a half. So we told them, because we wanted them to participate in the process for our endorsements, that we would do a hybrid meeting. So our hybrid meeting, we hold our regularly scheduled meeting at the Bonita Library. So the room is long lengthwise. So what we did is we established tables. There were 4 tables for the candidates up front. And we have our membership chair who was manning one computer, and she was changing everybody's voting status, making sure that she was checking the chat, verifying that everybody was acknowledged if they had a question. We placed another computer because one of our candidates was exposed to COVID and unfortunately could not attend in person. So he was on a, hold on, sorry, my thing. He was on a Zoom all by himself. So that was my computer and we could see him and he was facing the crowd and he answered questions and did all of that. And then we had a third laptop in the back of the room. And that laptop was specifically for everybody on Zoom to be able to see the room. So they'll be able to gauge the different candidates' faces, their reactions to things, and be able to hear. We did have a little bit of issues with them hearing. And I think that we can remedy that next time simply by the position of which computer we place. But it seemed to go well. We had about 35 people in person, and we were able to give an additional 25 people the opportunity to be online. So I like the online aspect.
Okay, so I've got 4 minutes before we actually launch the meeting. And I know that, yes.
Just one question, please. There's a Tiffany that just logged in. Can I have your last name, Tiffany?
Hi, it's Tiffany Boyd Hodgson.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Thank you.
Okay, so I noticed that we've got a few people with G's in front of their name. And I've already talked extensively with Sarah Ochoa. I see Sharon Sachs. Am I saying your name properly? Is this your first time visiting us? Okay, you don't have to say anything, or if you want, you could just put it in the chat. I just wanted to welcome you. Lori, I see your hand.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thanks. I wanted to bring up the issue of public comments that have, and really discussion and how we interact as we are in these types of meetings, because it's really come to the forefront lately at the County Board of Supervisors, where there are people who will clearly use that to not to encourage civil discourse, but to really take over meetings. And you know, as someone who often comments at public meetings because I want to hold our elected officials accountable, it really troubles me when the lowest common denominator, the people that use profanity and insults, set the limits for the rest of us who are behaving well instead of the other way around. And I just wanted to present that because many of us have been teachers, we're parents, we've dealt with kids, and we know we never reward bad behavior. And unfortunately, that's what's kind of happening, where because of this profanity and outbursts, we now see a reduction in people's opportunity to comment on issues of public importance. So I wanted to bring that out because we don't have that problem with this club. I think we have respectful and thoughtful conversations and discussions on sometimes some controversial items. And I was wondering if as a club, we wanted to maybe express concerns over how this is impacting public comments in other spaces. Because we need to, I think, encourage good behavior and set good examples. And
So
not,
Lori, are you proposing an official action item in the time leading up to the meeting starting? Are you asking people to make a decision?
I wanted, I guess I didn't know where to bring this up. It's not
Your
an
report
official
could be your report could be a really good time, especially if you want people to come to a decision and make an action.
So this gives people time to consider that as we go forward. So
Okay.
I wanted to put it out there. All
Okay,
right.
it's out there.
Thank you.
Tim, we're getting ready to start the meeting. Is it something quick?
No, that's fine. I had a suggestion to that, but for another time.
Well, I think we're gonna have some discussion about it once the meeting actually gets underway, because that sounded kind of businessy. Yeah, so to that end, everybody okay with me starting the meeting a few seconds? Oh, we're not early anymore. All right, so I'm gonna show the agenda, read through it. We're gonna vote to approve the agenda or not, if for some reason someone thinks there should be a change or an amendment, and then we'll kind of go from there. Does that work for everybody? All right, I'm gonna pretend like everybody said yes. And so we had checking in credentialing until 6:30, opening remarks and acknowledgements, candidate announcements, recognition of elected officials and representatives. And then we have a bylaw vote change, discussion on open e-board positions, discussion on 2020 meeting topics, which is actually the Moments of Truth thing, and then officer reports.
So we're missing something on the agenda.
Okay,
We are missing the review and approval of the endorsement calendar.
yes, thank you. As soon as you said that, yeah. And that's super important. So this way there's no surprises. We all know what's going on. Okay. Are we good? So it's weird. We did include it in the announcement that went out about the meeting. It just somehow wasn't on the agenda. Any other amendments to the agenda? I will say. Okay. All right. All in favor of the agenda as amended, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Please say nay. Okay, so we will move on to opening remarks and acknowledgements. So I'll be super brief because I think you guys have heard me talk plenty in the last 30 minutes. So I want to acknowledge everyone who made the time to be here and who has been with us this year, because this is our last official general body meeting for the calendar year. The next time we are together as a general body will be in January. And I hope everyone enjoys the time between now and then in whatever way they choose to enjoy it. So with that, oh, did I stop sharing? Yeah, I did. We will go on to candidate announcements. Do we have any candidates that would like to make an announcement? If this is your very first time making an announcement, you can have 3 whole minutes. If you have made an announcement before, you only get 1 minute. Is everybody clear on that? Okay. I see a couple of hands. All right. Okay. So Lily and Marquetta. So I'm going to start with Barbara Bree because she was the first one to get her hand up. Oh, okay. Lily and Marquetta, do you see the raise hand function? Because it'll push you up to, oh, okay. If you go in the reactions, you'll see it. Okay, Barbara, I will be quiet so that you can make your announcement.
Great. Well, good evening, San Diego Democratic Women's Club. First of all, I'm honored that I was a founding member of this club many years ago. I think many of you know that I'm a candidate for the combined office of San Diego County Assessor, Recorder, Clerk. I never thought I would run for office again, but last summer I was approached by a few progressive leaders about the need for a viable Democratic candidate for this office. I decided to run because I realized the duties of this office align with our shared values of equity, accountability, and transparency. And I'd like to particularly thank former Assembly member Lori Saldana for her encouragement and support for me to take on this run. In this role, I can ensure that everyone, especially big corporations, pay their fair share of property taxes. It's important to know that these taxes support education, mental health initiatives, projects to fight homelessness, and other important programs with social justice missions. This election is going to be a fierce battle as this seat has been a Republican stronghold along with other county-wide offices. My only opponent is endorsed by the Republican Party and has posed with right-wing figures such as Tucker Carlson, Ted Cruz, and Louis Gohmert. Our polling shows that we have a clear path to victory when voters here are different backgrounds and party affiliations. However, I can only be the first woman to win this seat and the first Democrat with your help. I am honored that my early endorsements include Congressman Mike Levin, Oceanside Mayor Esther Sanchez, current San Diego City Council members Joe LaCava, Monica Montgomery, Marnie Von Wilpert, Shawnilo Rivera, and Vivian Moreno, former Council President Georgette Gomez, and of course, former Assembly member Lori Saldana. I would be deeply honored to have your support.
Thank you. Barbara, please put your information in the chat. Next up, we have Nadia.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry it took me a moment. I am actually speaking on behalf of Zanita Encarnacion. She is running for Chula Vista Mayor. I want you all to know that prior to this, I did not speak up on behalf of any candidate in Chula Vista. And the reason for that is because I firmly believe that as a representative of a club and a leader in the Democratic Party, it is important that we don't show bias and we don't show favoritism towards our candidates, that we allow them to shine on their own in the communities. And because of that, Zanita was able to win the endorsement of the East Lake Bonilla Democrats last Thursday. She shined through. And the reason she shines through is because she has not just entered into this community or into this forum as a non-community member. She has worked hard in Chula Vista to bring equity and to change the way that Southwestern is seen, the way we are seen, the funding that we receive, and the LGBTQ community. I know that she is going to come before this club, and not speaking as an officer of this club, but simply as somebody that lives in the city of Chula Vista and knows how important it is to beat John McCann, who has held us hostage in the East Chula Vista for quite some time now. I really ask that you consider endorsing her. She is an amazing person. She apologizes that she couldn't be here this evening, but she is working hard to prove in other clubs right now that she is there and is going to be a wonderful representative. So thank you so much. Thank you for letting me speak, and I'm gonna go.
Thank you. Tiffany. Tiffany, will this be your first time speaking as a candidate, or is this is like you? All right, go ahead. I was just trying to figure out how much time to give you. All right, go ahead. I can't hear you, Tiffany.
I'm on my phone. I apologize. Is that better?
That's
Hello,
much better.
everyone. Okay, it's nice to see you. Thank you, Dr. Richmond. I am Tiffany Boyd Hodgson, mother of four, scientist, running for the San Diego County Board of Supervisors, running to oust Jim Desmond. I am the candidate that can win. I have a track record of running disciplined campaigns. The last one that I ran, I beat a 28-year political winnings incumbent by 11 points. I will be seeking this club's endorsement, and I truly hope that you consider supporting me. I want to thank Yvonne Elkin for being a co-host on a fundraiser that we just had a couple of days ago. And there is another one coming up, and I will put that information in the chat. Please consider supporting me. It is a tough race. I am running against two men that I just sat through a meeting where my 10 hours worth of data in a questionnaire was rated equally qualified to someone who wrote like single line answers in the same questionnaire. So it's hard. It is hard. And we know what that's like. So it's hard to run as a woman. Please support me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Boyd Hodgson. Marquetta Brown.
Hi, you guys. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Richmond, for allowing me to speak today. I am running for Chula Vista Elementary School District board seat. There is an incumbent in there that is a teacher, a former teacher that I'm running against, but I know that there is a change needed for our kids in Chula Vista. And I know that that change is going to require someone that has the educational experience and the mothering experience that I have. So I am a mother of two. I am a 16-year resident and homeowner of Chula Vista, a proud wife of a government employee, and an educator for the last 19 years. So I actively appreciate all of your support as I start this journey. I've never been in politics before. So this is a new adventure for me, and I'm really, really having a good time. I was present at our East Lake Bonita meeting last Thursday where Zanita took our endorsement. So I am jumping head in. I am currently a juvenile justice commissioner. I'm also active in our community in all kinds of sports and all kinds of activities. So I'm definitely ready for the fight. I'm ready to walk doors, ready to meet everyone and make some changes for our Chula Vista Elementary School District. Marquetta Brown. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so very much. Please put your information in the chat. I have to remember to say that. Lily.
Yeah, unmute. Thank you so much, club members and Dr. Richmond, for allowing me to be here. Actually, this is my first club meeting where I'm speaking as a candidate for San Diego Unified board seat in Subdistrict C, which is La Jolla, Pacific Beach, Point Loma, and Linda Vista. And I think I'm uniquely qualified because I have 3 kids in the school system right now. And 2 of them have been in San Diego Unified since the beginning, since TK and kindergarten. And I have been involved since day 1 when they started school at the local PTA. And then I was cluster chair twice for our Mission Bay cluster. I was on the cluster council where all the different cluster leads get together. So if you look at my experience of working within the system, not as an employee, I think I am probably more qualified than a lot of the people that are sitting on the board right now. And I think I bring a unique quality because I have been a parent of current students, which none of the board members currently are. They don't understand the day-to-day battles that our students and our families really are faced with. And I think that I am going to fight for the families and the students. Everything I do will have the students at the top, at the center of all my decision-making efforts. So I would really love the endorsement of this club, obviously. And I have to run a real grassroots campaign. I know one of my competitors or another one of my another candidate is on this call right now. And I know he's gonna have a lot of money behind him, and I have to run a real grassroots campaign, and I hope that you can help me do that. And I'm standing up for the kids, and my campaign is all about the kids being first. Thank you.
Thank you. Please make sure to put your information in the chat. So next up, we have Tommy Howe.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond. I appreciate it. And my name is Tommy Howell. I'm a San Diego County Planning Commissioner, and I'm running for San Diego City Council District 6. And, you know, as Lily indicated, there is a big difference from being someone who is a grassroots candidate versus someone who's really like, you know, a very grass tips candidate. I'm certainly a grassroots candidate. I was the endorsed Democratic candidate for the D6 seat back in 2018. Many of you know I founded the San Diego County Democrats for Environmental Action, took a leadership role in ensuring passage of the city's climate action plan. That's now undergoing an update. I've also been an advocate for parks and open space for places like the Del Mar Mesa Preserve, as well as Mission Bay, which I advocated for through my work with Rewild Mission Bay and the San Diego Audubon Society. Actually, interestingly, speaking of the environmental Democrats, they're doing what's going to wind up being a very early District 6 forum on Wednesday, which you may want to dial in for. So obviously I'm a conservationist, that's a concern for me, but our focus has primarily been on Mira Mesa throughout the redistricting process, restoring our infrastructure, rebuilding our roads, ensuring smart growth as we build and add new housing into Carroll Canyon and consider densification in the Convoy District with new Kearney Mesa Community Plan update, and ensuring we can at last get some effective transit in our neighborhood as part of our growth. Those are the concerns I've been bringing to the table. We've been going door to door since July. The response has been outstanding. I'd love to talk with you more about it, and I look forward to hopefully having our race considered by this club as well. My name is Tommy Howell. My slogan is Neighborhoods First in the heart of San Diego City Council District 6. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Dr. Richmond, for letting me speak, and I hope you have a wonderful meeting.
Thank you. Cody.
Thank you, Dr. Richmond. Is this my first time announcing this club, or did I speak last time? I say for the time consequences, not as a matter of curiosity.
According to last month's minutes, you did speak last month.
Okay, then I'll be brief. Thank you for having me. My name is Cody Pedersen. I too am running for San Diego Unified School District Subdistrict C. I am a product of the subdistrict, K through 12. My two children are in the subdistrict at Torrey Pines Elementary. I am a senior advisor to Supervisor Lawson Reamer at the County for Land Use, Environment, and Tribal Affairs. I'm a lecturer at UCSD in politics for environmental change. I'm immediate past president of EnviroDims and former central committee member and state executive board member. I am dedicated to not only to attacking the root causes of differentials in educational outcome, in advocating for equity and sustainability. I would love to see universal pre-K so that those ages of 3 to 5, which are key really for child development, are addressed in our educational system, expansion of career and technical education, decarbonization of our school facilities, the nation's most ambitious climate curriculum. There's no reason we shouldn't lead here in San Diego. Really, we have a great opportunity with local control funding formula. The governor's proposed dramatic expansions of that, and I'd love to be part of determining where those go. A thing I'd like to focus on is special education funding, securing that funding that we have not gotten from the feds and they've committed to, and more than anything, exploring the synergies that we can get by leveraging relationships with other jurisdictions, both in Sacramento and at the federal level and in other jurisdictions throughout the city. I look forward to seeking the endorsement of this club. I've been a longtime member of this club and done a lot of organizing in this club, and I look forward to seeking your endorsement. And I hope, as Lily says, that I'm going to have a lot of money, but I currently have none. So I would love the support of club members individually as well for fundraising. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cody. Please make sure to put your info in the chat. And you too, Tommy. I don't know if you put it in there or not. I think that concludes the candidate announcements. Do we have any elected officials or their representatives who would like to say anything? Okay, so Tim, are you speaking as a candidate or as an elected?
I am. I'm sorry. I somehow lowered my hand. May I speak?
Yeah, you have 1 minute.
Very good. I'm Dr. Timothy Bilash. I've really enjoyed participating as a member of the club and thankful for the thought members put into it. I am running in the Congressional District 50. I've spoken before. The latest maps look pretty interesting. I urge everyone to go to at least one of the mapping meetings with either the IRC at the county level or the congressional and city levels. I'd like to highlight 2 issues. The county is going to be approving the regional transportation plan and the environmental impact report. I've been going to many of the SANDAG meetings And I'm very impressed with the professionalism of the people and the plans. It will be presented to the board for a vote. It didn't happen 10 years ago, and we're catching up. All the other areas of the state have funding to do infrastructure. We have nothing. And they're very reasonable, well thought out plans. It's across the county and it needs a little extra funding. It didn't happen 10 years ago. So I urge people to take a look at it and encourage the County Board of Supervisors to provide what needs to be done instead of always running on fumes for our infrastructure.
Thank you, Dr. Bylash. Please put your information in the chat. Doug Case, you're up.
Okay, I'm Doug Case. I'm the local political affairs director for State Senate President Pro Tem Tony Atkins. Last month, I talked about some of the key legislation that she sponsored that was passed and signed. I thought I would talk briefly this month about some of the funding that's going to flow directly to San Diego County as a result of the legislature's budget. It includes $50 million for San Diego's Pure Water Phase 1, $35 million for the San Diego Community College District's continuing educational cultural complex, $35 million for UC San Diego Scripps Institute of Oceanography for a new research vessel to study our ocean and changing climate, $8.4 million for the Ocean Beach Pier Capital Improvement Project, and $30 million for the UC San Diego Hillcrest Medical Center because they're going to have to replace that hospital for seismic reasons. And must be seismic refitted or actually rebuilt. And so those are some of the budget items that are coming to directly benefit the County of San Diego, thanks to the governor and our local legislators.
All right, I will unmute. Thank you, Doug. I really appreciate you always coming to give us updates. It really means a lot. Michelle O'Connor Radcliffe.
Hi, I don't have a report. I'm just an old and new member. I've been out for a while, but now I'm back and a paid member again, and I'm really happy to be here tonight. I'm excited to hear what everybody has to say about strategic things for next year. I'm a member of the Poway Unified School Board, and we're in the middle of a lot of stuff right now, and I'll report that to you when I'm prepared to do so. For now, I just wanted to say hello, and I'm so glad to be back as a member of the club.
Welcome back. And for anyone who was wondering how, if you don't have a in front of your name, how you can be a voting member, I will drop some information in the chat. Oh, right link. Sorry, that's districting stuff, but I'll put the membership stuff in there too.
Point of clarification, Madam President. Could I get Michelle O'Connor Ratcliffe's office, please, for the minutes?
Could you repeat which school board you're with?
Poway Unified School District.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Wanda, I think you had a quick announcement.
Madam Chair, thank you. Hi, good evening. I am currently in the Jacobs Center. As you can see behind me, SoCal Pre-Apprenticeship Program. We are putting on an apprenticeship fair at the Jacobs Center this Thursday between the hours of 10 to 12. We have 7 different apprenticeship programs that will be showing up. I am a pre-apprenticeship, and so we have individuals come through our course, soft skills training, to get them ready. And yay to President Biden, his infrastructure bill was signed today. That means a lot of great jobs for a lot of great families and people. And so it would be great if you could let your constituent base know, if you can let your friends know. We are in the 4th district and we are there to help. Dr. Richmond, thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everyone. I did get the right link in the chat. Doug, is that an old hand or did you have something else to say? Okay, I'm gonna treat it like an old hand and you'll let me know if you need anything. So now we will move on in the agenda to the bylaw vote change. So some of you who were at the last meeting might recall we voted on bylaw changes, but it was a practice vote, because what was supposed to happen is I was supposed to tell you about the bylaw change, give you some time to go home and sleep on it and think about it, so that then when we got together this month, everybody could vote and feel informed when they were making their vote. And I apologize for anyone that this caused confusion or discomfort for. And with that, I am going to turn things over to Yvonne Elkin, who can speak to this much better than myself.
All right, well, thank you. I'm going to share my screen, maybe, as long as I figure out how to do this. All right, so this is what you all saw last month. And the way our bylaws read at the Democratic Women's Club is that we present the bylaw change 1 month and we vote on it the next month. So you all saw that it's the endorsement committee who is proposing this change, because in truth, what we wrote, when the bylaws were all revised in February, really duplicated some of the verbiage, said it in a different way, and it made it much more confusing. So the bylaws currently read in Article 3, membership, Section 4 under voting. It says a general member in good standing who has attended at least 2 prior meetings as a member in the wrong. So it did say a member in good standing who has attended at least 2 prior meetings in the previous 12 months, and for new members has paid dues at least 45 days prior to the meeting, shall be eligible to vote for club officer elections and club endorsements. We are proposing to get rid of the "and for new members" clause, because in fact, it really doesn't change the fact that you have to attend 2 prior meetings as a member. So the new bylaw will read as a general member in good standing who has attended at least 2 prior meetings as a member in previous 12 months shall be eligible to vote for club officer elections and club endorsements. So those are the only 2 types of voting that are restricted to having to attend 2 prior meetings in the previous 12 months. Any other kind of motions during a meeting, it's all voting members. So I would like to move that we pass this amendment and make it part of our bylaws going forward. And I'd like to hear a second, please.
I'll second.
I second.
I think we heard a couple there.
I think Lori seconded first.
Okay. So you got that, Kathy? All right, then I would really like to call for a show of hands on the vote. I think, Rosalind, that I saw that we do have a quorum, right?
Yes.
Right.
So we asked for discussion if anyone has.
All right, I'm sorry, yes, right. So is there any discussion on this item? Nadia, you have your hand up?
Sorry, I thought I was voting.
Well, but can't we vote in the yes or no? Let me go. I can't do a couple. It's really hard for me to do.
If you click
things at once.
reactions, you'll see the option to vote with the yes or no.
Okay, so I need to, because I'm sharing, I need to stop sharing so I can vote.
You click participants, you'll be able to see the.
Right, okay, so let me vote first. So I would like everybody who wants to vote yes to do that now. And I'm not participants.
Okay, and if you look at the participants tab, it'll give you.
Right, but I guess I'm trying to figure out how to vote.
Click reactions and then you'll see options like yes, no, all kinds of weird stuff.
Oh, there they are.
Yeah. Got a party hat.
All right, so has everybody voted? So are we going to count the yeses and the raising your hands?
Yes.
All right, well, let's do that then.
Yeah, and so it looks like Rosamond has her hand raised as a yes. Is that a yes? All right.
All right.
So it looks like we've got 19 yeses.
How many?
20 because Rosamond's was up as well.
Okay. All right, so if we clear that and
let me see here. Oh, here.
So is there anybody who would like to vote no?
So again, to vote no, you click reactions, then you'll see the little option to push the little no thing. If for some reason that is not working for you, you can please indicate another way. I am not
All
seeing.
right, I don't see any no votes. So it looks like the motion carried and the bylaws going forward under Article 3 membership, Section 4 voting will read, and I'll just say it again, a general member in good standing who has attended at least 2 prior meetings as a member in the previous 12 months shall be eligible to vote for club officer elections and club endorsements. All right, now we're in line with our bylaws.
All right, nice. All right, so I see a hand up. Wanda, you have your hand up?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to know, since I'm signing up as a member today, so that means I wouldn't be able to vote as of next year for anything moving forward?
No.
It's going to be a rolling 12 months. So if you sign up during today's meeting, and this, Rosamond, am I correct to say this today would count?
Today would count as she signed up right now, and she would have to attend the 2 meetings in the 12 months. Since we're not going to have a meeting in December, that's going to be difficult. So if we have elections in
February.
January,
It's
The
February,
first time
then
she could vote for this is in February. She could
And the
vote
election
for
are-
that is
officer
that is
elections and
correct.
endorsements in February.
That is correct.
And the elections are in February.
That is correct. She could vote in February if she became a member now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Does that answer your question, Wanda?
yeah, because you're missing a meeting in January.
No, we have a meeting in January.
Okay, December, I meant.
Right, yeah, so
Pardon me.
December we have no meetings, so today and January would count for your 2, so you would start to be eligible to vote for club officer and endorsements in February.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right. So did you have another agenda item, Yvonne?
I do.
All right. The floor is yours.
All right, so now I am going to share the proposed endorsement calendar. So we will, as we did in 2020, have our endorsement meetings on a weekend. And we will do, as you can kind of see by the numbers of races we'll be addressing at each meeting, we will do kind of marathon endorsement meetings. So we are proposing that we will start right off the beginning of the year on January 9th for a 3.5-hour meeting. And we will, at that meeting, we will attempt to endorse San Diego County Board of Supervisors District 5, two San Diego Unified School District Board, School Board B and C. And both of those, that will allow us to actually get our Democratic Women's Club endorsement vote done before the party. And so we will be able to influence the party endorsement on those two. The rest of them for January 9th are congressional districts. And you will see that there's a double asterisk beside some of them. And that means that at least right now, the incumbent has no Democratic challengers. So we will propose to address those as friendly incumbents. So again, on January 9th, we're proposing County Board of Supervisors, D5. We're proposing San Diego Unified School Districts, School Board, District B and C. We're all 5. And I know the numbers will change, in about a month, but we're proposing all 5 of our California congressional districts and San Diego City Council District 6. Then we'll propose our second meeting on Sunday, February 6th, and that will run from 12 to 3:30. There, we're going to look at all of the assembly seats, the Senate, the state Senate seats, County Supervisor District 4, which at this point is a friendly incumbent. We're also going to look at sheriff and any other county-wide, so sheriff and county assessor, definitely we have Democratic candidates running. But right now, I haven't seen anybody running for district attorney or tax collector. So those two we'll just kind of try to do if there's somebody running. And then Mayor Chula Vista. So those will be February 6th, February 27th from 12 to 3:30 again. Will be San Diego City Council Districts 2, 4, and 8. Community College Board, County Board of Education. And then we are proposing to attempt to endorse in Carlsbad City Council for a friendly incumbent race there because it's a woman who we have supported before. And the same thing with California Secretary of State. We may not really have a lot of influence on the party's endorsement for that, but we certainly would like this Democratic Women's Club to continue to support Dr. Shirley Weber. And then we will have time on the 27th to add a couple more races, depending on who's running and what looks to be critical to the club. And so some probably at our January meeting, if we see more races that we think should be added on February 27th, we will propose them at the time. So that is our proposed calendar. And that will cover everything by the end of February, and we will be done. Unless something specific comes up that the club wants to pursue looking for an endorsement. So do I have, again, I am going to make a motion that the club support this and vote yes, that that we will approve this calendar for our endorsement calendar for 2022. Again, I would like a second.
I'll second.
Yeah, Yvonne, I just have one question. First of all, thank you for your hard work on this. This is a lot of like moving pieces to try and pull together in a rational way. And I'm assuming all of this is on Zoom.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And assuming that this is approved tonight, then within the next 2 or 3 days, I'm going to start sending email invitations out to the people, the offices that are going to be looked at on January 9th. So that will get started right away. But yes, I said it. So Barbara, maybe this was all in our kind of newsletter announcement.
Okay.
So you can look there. I mean, I don't know that this will come into the Zoom other than we're recording it. You'll see it maybe that way. If you have a question, you can always email me and I will be glad to share anything with you.
Thank you. I'm happy to support this. I'll raise my hand.
Okay, all right. So we've got a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion?
Yeah, I have a question. Do we have to have a quorum to make the endorsements?
To vote
To
on
vote.
at those meetings? Yes, we have to have a quorum. And just for those of you who are not familiar with our process, what we will do, I mean, besides the fact that I will, each candidate running for any of these offices will receive an invitation from our endorsement committee to complete our questionnaire and participate in our endorsement process. They will all be given the opportunity to speak at that meeting. Every candidate always gets a 5-minute time period to speak at the endorsement meeting. And then you will all get all voting members, everybody qualified based on the bylaws change that we just talked about. Everybody who is a paid member and has attended at least 2 meetings in the prior 12 months will get a ballot by email before the meeting. So you will be able to vote electronically, and it's private. So we know if you voted, but not who you voted for. And the process worked really well last year. So I expect that we learned a lot and it will be fine. So again, any other discussion on the approval of the calendar?
I see 2 hands, Yvonne.
Okay, Nadia?
So just for clarification purposes, because I feel like sometimes the minute details are where we get stuck. Do we have confirmation that should we endorse a different candidate than the party endorses, since their calendar is already going to be finalized in the next few months?
Right.
Will we still be able to support the candidate that we as a club endorse?
That's how we've done it before. We support our club endorsement, whether or not the party endorsed that same person.
Perfect. I just want to make sure, because I was trying to read through the bylaws on some of them and just make sure that there was.
Yeah, that's not, our endorsement policy is a separate document. So all what our bylaws say is that you refer to the endorsement policy. But again, we don't even cover that. I mean, I don't remember that being a part of the bylaw or the endorsement policy. We just support our candidate.
Perfect. Thank you.
Wanda, did you have a question?
I apologize. I didn't take my hand down, but I did have a question. Sometimes when you just endorse people and they only come to your club to be endorsed, do you have some kind of written document that you have in play that will have them answer some questions and accountability to hold them accountable?
We have a actually very in-depth questionnaire that every single candidate gets, and then we make that available for the members to review before the day of the endorsement, so they'll have a chance to read through how the candidates responded. And then they can use that as well as the candidates, 5 minutes of speaking to decide how they want to vote.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right, Barbara, do you have another question?
Oh, no. No, I was just voting already. Early vote.
Okay, anybody else have a question? I do want to say one more thing. If you are a candidate and you're on this call, I it's really helpful for the endorsement committee if we have good, solid contact information for you so that we can make sure you get the invitation to participate in our endorsement process. Do I hear people talking somewhere? Okay, if not, if there's no more discussion, we have a motion and a second. So I would like all of those in favor to please vote yes on your, click reactions and click the green check mark if you are in favor of supporting this calendar.
Question, I can't find a green check mark. Can I just do it?
Then just raise your hand, please.
Oh, okay.
If you click reactions, okay.
Rosman, are you going to vote? Oh, okay. All right, so Dr. Richmond, do you want to do a quick count for us?
Oh, it's 20.
Okay. All right, then let's kind of clear that. And if there's anybody who wants to vote no, again, under reactions, there's a red X.
Well, let me clear these so that we can.
There you go. Okay, so if you do not want to support this calendar, vote no. You can click that red X or you can raise your hand. All right, I see no votes. So the calendar has been approved and the endorsement committee will get to work.
All right. Well,
all right. And again, I just want to remind everybody who's a candidate and who's on this call tonight to please give me your email address, a phone contact, and if you have a campaign manager or somebody that you'd like me to work through, give me that name as well.
And as quiet as it's kept, the endorsement committee has already done a lot of work just to develop this calendar. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for your leadership on that.
You're welcome.
All right, so are y'all ready? Let's see here. Oh, discussion of open e-board positions. Yeah, so I don't know if you all remember, but when we did our last bylaw amendment earlier this year, one of the things we did is we talked about staggering terms and we created some roles and did a few things. And so with that, we have a few positions, a few vacancies that we'll be needing to get nominees for, hopefully over the next couple of months while you're engaging in whatever activities you engage in between meetings. You will also think about stepping forward to serve in a role. Vacancies are external VP, treasurer, director of communications. Those terms end in January. And yeah, there may be some other vacancies. And I'll, if you are interested in leadership in our club, please reach out to myself or any other board member and we can answer any questions you might have and get you set up as a candidate. Would love to have you. We're excited about the things that are possible. Sound good? Any questions about that? All right. Do you have a question? Yes.
I did, Dr. Luana. I should know everything about eBoard, but I don't. What is eBoard and what does it mean? What are you looking
so
for?
eBoard means executive board. And so that would be the club leadership. One of the things I encourage all club members to do is to look at the bylaws, because that gives you some background as well as, gives you the mission, vision type stuff. The current eBoard consists of myself as president. Lori Saldana is currently external vice president. Sarah Davis is internal vice president. Kathy Hyatt is secretary. Rosamond Blevins is treasurer and director of membership. And Nadia King Ayub is our director of communication. And we all hope that she will run again. All right. And you can get more details about the specificity in the bylaws. Lonnie Lucas, you're up.
I wanted to know where to find the actual descriptions. Are those in the bylaws? Okay, thank you.
To make life easier, I will put the link to the bylaws in the chat so that everyone has access to them. Understand that the most recent amendment is not yet posted. Does that work for everyone? In the interest of transparency. All right, I see a thumbs up. Boom, bylaws, right there. That's the link. Okay, so I think I'm gonna have to move my computer. Let's see here. Yes. Oh, this is fun. I'll be back. So the next thing on the agenda is my moments of truth presentation that I told you all about. And hopefully it will be relatively painless. You know, sometimes the truth hurts. And so I'm bracing myself. The meeting is recorded so that, you know, if I'm too traumatized by your responses, I will recover in time for it to be actionable. Wanda, is your hand up for something new? Or is it up because it was just old hand? Old hand. Okay, perfect. So, let's see here. Boom. So, you know, it's not a real presentation, I guess, without a PowerPoint. You guys know I'm not a big fan of PowerPoint, but in this case, thought it might help me a little bit. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Share screen. Go here. Share. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
It's a yes? Okay, good. And so this is a Moments of Truth. It's adapted from Toastmasters International. For those of you who don't know, I'm a distinguished Toastmaster when I'm not doing other things. So Moments of Truth is comprised of these elements. It's about first impressions, membership orientation, fellowship, variety and communication, program planning and meeting organization, membership strength, and achievement recognition. All right. And we can fly through these or we can have some thought. I'm going to touch on each of them one by one, but I wanted to let you know ahead of time what I plan to cover so that you had an idea of what to expect. Are there any questions before I go on? All right. And so just, you know, the question that no one's asked that I would have asked if I was in the audience, because I guess maybe I'm a little more inquisitive or I'm a weirdo, but I would have said, well, why are we doing this, right? And so the reason we're doing this is we are approaching the end of the calendar year, and I have almost been president for a year, getting there. It's a few months shy, and I just want to have an idea what people want, because we spend a lot of time as the executive board talking about what we think we can do to better serve our members. And this is your opportunity to tell us. How's that sound? All right. So we're going into the audience participation part of the program. First impressions, especially for those of you who maybe this is someone's first time coming to a meeting and maybe not. And we have to acknowledge that doing things in person is different from doing things on Zoom. And it's a little harder to do all of these things as warmly as we might like. But are we greeting and welcoming our guests, inviting you to please join our club and making a positive experience? And if yes, Yay. If not, what can we do better? Tish,
Yeah, I
can you
felt
speak a
very
little
welcome.
louder? Let's see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I felt very welcomed when I first attended, and which made me then want to join the club. And so I personally think that that everyone has done a really good job as far as greeting and welcoming.
Okay, thank you for that. Any other thoughts, comments? Okay, Denise. I'm recognizing you. I see your hand up, Denise. Did you want to say something? I can't hear you because I think you're still muted. Well, let me look in the chat. Oh. This is, all right. Can you say it in the chat maybe? Because I'm pushing the ask to unmute button and I'm not sure why it's not letting you. I don't know why Zoom occasionally does this to people. So I'm gonna watch the chat, Denise, to see what you have to say. And let me see here. No one else has feedback, right? Okay, so we'll go to the next one. And this one is member orientation. I think we could probably do a better job on this personally, but I'd love to hear your feedback. And basically with member orientation, we make sure that you have the bylaws, that you know what it means to be a member in good standing. You're aware, oh, hi. That you're aware of the leadership opportunities within the club, and that you are, we're letting you know what our service opportunities are as well. So I see a hand from Lonnie Lucas.
Yes, I received no orientation. I did not receive a reminder for this meeting, only a receipt for my payment and an email from Rosamond asking me about my voter registration. That is it. So I didn't receive the bylaws or any information.
Okay, that's good to know. Dr. Bilash?
Thanks. Maybe I could share my experience with the Democratic Progressive Club when a few years ago, they had some time period before the meeting. Of course, this was in person, and that allowed to have some individual discussions. I was wondering if maybe a volunteer from the club could offer to spend a little time, 10 or 15 minutes on a phone call with the new member or something, just to answer their questions. If that might be an appropriate way to sort of make a more, it's hard in a big room and to sometimes navigate the websites. And I found that very helpful, that one-on-one, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I appreciate that. Lily.
I just want to share with you my experience. I actually joined, and I think I agree with Lonnie. I don't think I got anything from when I joined, but I sent an email, I think, to Dr. Lawana, but other people intercepted and got back to me quickly, which I really appreciated. But then I got the reminder for this meeting. So, I don't know which it was from, whether it was me joining or if the email outreach was where I got the response from. But excuse me, I did get good contact from the members, and was basically asked to come to this meeting via a couple of different reminders.
Okay, well, thank you. Tish, is this a new hand or old hand?
No, it's a new hand.
Okay.
I also never received anything, but I'm very persistent in following up myself. So, but I think it would be nice I don't know if you have a person who handles memberships. Maybe that person could reach out to the new members and see what role they would like to play, or if they just want to be a member, and also just maybe once you get the membership, once we pay like our dues, maybe that could automatically trigger a welcoming email with the bylaws and other information.
Okay, thank you for that. And Michelle?
I just tag on kind of a little bit to what Tish was saying. I've been a member in the past and I'm on the mailing list and I've been getting meeting notices for, years at this point. I think maybe it would have been nice to, when I didn't renew at the end of, the last time I was a member, to have somebody say, hey, don't forget to renew. Or maybe get an email saying, don't forget to renew, instead of just continuing to remind me that there's another meeting coming. Maybe there's a meeting and by the way, you're not a member anymore. Would you like to be? We'd love for you to be. So that might be nice.
Can I respond to that real quickly? When just before your membership dues are to expire, I will go send you to remind you that they are expiring. What happens sometimes is people have different email addresses. It bounces back, I get a hold of them, and then I also try to text them with their and sometimes I get a response, sometimes all that has changed. So, but I do that every month for any member whose membership is about to expire.
Right, thank
I
you.
must have missed you, but it sounds like you're already doing what I was suggesting. So I'll try to keep my my membership information current. Thank you.
Okay, and maybe we could, instill a, biannual, cleanup. Just ask everyone to make sure that their contact information is current. Maybe that might help us. I'm not sure. Anything else on member orientation? Okay, I'm gonna move on.
Actually, I have a question.
Lori?
Yes, I'm curious what is meant by service.
Just service opportunities.
So letting new
So
members.
like tabling at the Oktoberfest, just, ways that they can, if they choose to, be of service to the club.
Okay, so volunteering and community. All right, I just wasn't clear what direction you were going with that. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Guess I should have put service opportunities. All right, so fellowship and communication. Maybe this is overkill because we talked a little bit about this, but are we creating a welcoming environment and providing responsiveness? Because, in any organization, sometimes when new people come in or when people are visiting, people walk in and the room's not necessarily warm. So I think that we have a warm room, but maybe, it could be warmer. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. Okay.
Luana, I just like to say that maybe once we get back into in-person meetings, it'll be so much easier to greet each member as they come in, and new members, potential new members, guests, to also greet them. Zoom has changed, or COVID has changed all our lives in one way or another. I'd hope that once we get in-person meeting, that we would be receptive to each individual, greet each individual as they come in.
Okay. Anne.
Hi, yes, I just wanted to say that I have found this club to be able to be very welcoming and warm and not terribly judgmental and encouraging on all fronts. And it's one of the things I really like about being here. And I've only ever been involved in the virtual setting because I'm, relatively, give or take, new to the area. So I applaud you for for accomplishing that, because it is hard to do in a distance.
Okay, well, I really appreciate that feedback. Nadia.
I think sometimes welcoming, and just in experiences that I've had in other spaces, sometimes it's important to remember that not everybody comes in with the same history or the same traumas. And when they come into these spaces, it doesn't mean that something that you do for people that are normally accepted in these spaces easily is going to work for people that are not accepted in these spaces easily. Sometimes the way you communicate with people that you're normally around is not going to be as welcoming for people that are from a marginalized community that hasn't been invited into these spaces or sat at these tables before. So I think it's important when those people say something and say, you know, this could be better, this could be better. It's important not to take it personally and automatically respond and come back with a quick response like, oh, I do this, or I do that, or I've done this, or I've done that, and do a list, and more so be open to how you can change that area.
Okay, thank you for that, Nadia. Lily.
So this is my first meeting, and I actually admit that I did not look at the agenda before I came in, and I really enjoyed that first 30 minutes where people were just chatting. I'm one of those people that listen first, so I didn't have a lot to add, but it was nice to kind of hear everyone chatting about what they've been doing and, you know, what's going on and all that. So I thought that was, for me, for someone like me who likes to listen first and kind of get the lay of the land, that was really nice for me.
Okay, thank you for that. Kathy.
Hi, everybody.
Okay,
I loved the idea about somebody reaching out and spending a few minutes with a new member. Maybe we could start a committee, a welcoming committee of maybe 3 or 4 members that would like to be, you know, take that 15 minutes or so for a guest or a new member. Because putting it onto the membership chair is too much at this point, since she's also the treasurer.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Anyone else? Okay, so I'm going to move on. The next one is program planning and meeting organization. Really, it's about quality of program and meeting flow. So we have made an effort to provide information and invite guests that provide useful information for our members. And I don't know, how are we doing? Thank you, Nancy. Any comments on program planning? Yvonne.
All righty, so I think, you know, we are doing reasonably, in my experience, I think we're doing reasonably well, but I think we could do much better. You know, having, you know, being on the board, I think, you know, deciding what next month's meeting is two weeks beforehand doesn't really give us time to put together the kind of program that we could do if we spent more time on it. So kind of like what Kathy said about, you know, a small group of people who would be the welcoming committee. Maybe we put together 2 or 3 people that are our program committee, and then plan a little further ahead and then develop it more in depth when we do put a program together.
I think that's a lovely idea. And I welcome volunteers who would be interested in supporting programming. Barbara, are you moving your hand because you want to say something?
I just wanted to say I've really enjoyed some of the programs and that have been timely, particularly the one where we, right after the Afghanistan fiasco, we had women leaders here talking about what they had personal experiences and families. And I mean, it was amazing to be able to come to our club and hear that. So I want to commend the programs committee for trying to do things that are very timely and meaningful.
Thank you for that. Any other program planning and meeting feedback? Oh, Jessica.
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say I really do like all of you guys' programming. I've been away from the Democratic Women's Club for a long time. I was a founding member and on the board as well, and I've kind of stayed away for a long time. And when I saw you all have the Afghanistan conversation, it made me come back and it made me pay my dues. So I think the programming is great, and let's keep doing that.
Thank you, Jessica. Kathy, is this a new hand?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I want to agree with Barbara and Jessica. I think our programming is actually, in the 4+ years that I've been here, has been one of our strengths, that we've had compelling, timely programming. I do think that since we don't have a program committee, it falls to the board. And, we have to be creative and try to keep things timely as well, which is one good thing. Sometimes we plan something and something else in the world where we want to, reschedule what we had planned and do something that's more time, which I think that actually happened with the Afghanistan program. But I also do think it would be interesting to hear some of the members' ideas, what they would like to see for programming, whether it's just a little survey we do, or we just, maybe at the end of a meeting, we just ask if anybody has programming ideas for us to work on for the upcoming meetings, so that it's not just the board that's, trying to think of programming ideas every month.
Kathy, I agree with you so much. I would love to hear from our members in terms of what they would like us to discuss, because sometimes we're guessing, trying to figure out, okay, what do we think people want to hear about next month? And it's not always easy.
Yeah.
Any other programming feedback? Okay, membership strength. So this one, it depends on how you look at it. Is it half full, half empty? We are currently at like about 145 members. Is that close, Rosamond?
Actually, we're at 148 members.
Oh, we're at
That's pretty
148.
close.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were closer to 200. Prior to COVID, I believe we were over 200. And so we have—
That's correct.
We have retained a good portion of our members, but we've also had some people not renew. And so part of that is, are we engaging you, and how would you like us to engage you? Because a club is only as strong as its membership. And I think membership is about more than just like who's paying dues. But what do y'all think? Marquetta.
Hey, so there's this really cool way of doing the meetings that another organization that I'm a member of does. So we'll have our regular meeting, and then according to our agenda, we do breakout rooms in Zoom. And we're in smaller groups and we're talking about whatever the topics are, and then we come back and we have an open forum and open opportunity to talk about what it is that we did in our breakout rooms. I think it just gives us a better opportunity to get to know each other in smaller groups, and then to come back as a larger group, but to have more substantial conversations and not just all over the place. But they are substantial conversations, and I've gotten to know people, I feel, a little bit more intimately, and it's just through Zoom. So that's one of my more favorite meetings that I like to attend. And it's ran, of course, it is ran by educators, but so they've put a little lesson planning into it. So it is one of my favorites though.
Okay, so I've been trained on this thing called liberating structures. I just haven't broken it out on y'all because I'm trying to like not do too much. I mean, because if people just want to sit and be talked at, I guess we could do that. But I love engaging people. So I'm glad to hear that we have at least one person who wants to be engaged. It's a beautiful thing. Any other feedback or conversation about engagement or how we could better engage or make, oh, okay, Marquetta. You got to unmute.
Sorry, it's from the Girl Scouts, so it's not my own idea, but they do, for my daughter's troop, we do we're making projects while we're on a Zoom meeting. So like last weekend we did power balls and it was a recipe. So I don't know, maybe we can do things like that to where we're bringing forth something that is something that we could take away with us, not just the conversations or not just the bickering or let's hash things out, but something that we can take away and something that we can learn from each other.
Okay, wonderful. Yvonne, I see your hand.
So I would like to take engagement of members to a little different level, because I think there's two things. I mean, there's the members who come every month and they enjoy the meetings, and certainly that is something that we are really looking to have happen. But I think also that I'd like to know what members would look at to want to be committee chairs on committees, run for office, all that sort of thing that it takes to keep running a club. Because I often feel, and it's not just here, it's almost any kind of a volunteer organization that I work with, we don't have a good bench. So how do we get people interested in being on the bench to then become leaders?
We got to make sure they know how much fun it is. That is a really good point. So I think what Yvonne is trying to say is, in case you didn't know, you all have an open invitation to engage. Cody.
I'm just going to unmute here, and we're doing nighty night right now. But I wanted to say something because this really, what Yvonne just said and several other speakers have said, really brought this home. Is when I think of this club, I think back to like we used to meet at Pana, and it was like a very small space, but it was super intimate. And something about it is still so cognitively salient for me, like all of us being in that small space. Mm-hmm. And I know we're trying to balance, the danger of COVID, and as we sort of phase out of this pandemic, but I also want to sort of put in sorry, that's my son's quiet. I also want to put in a plug for like trying to figure out, and I don't presume to know what the balance is, but trying to balance that against the very real role that intimacy and being in a room together plays. And I know as when I was president of EnviroDems and EnviroDems now, in a certain sense, we're still on life support. Like the club model is really built around being together. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know like what that is. Maybe we talked in the 30 minutes about the potential to have hybrid, but I just want to make a plea for balancing, as we come out of this pandemic, that just like emphasizing what happens to a club when it's virtual for too long is I really feel like it's like on life support,
I feel you.
Not just this club, but all the clubs,
Yeah.
Luana, can I say one thing? Right now we have 148 members and we have about 26 members. It would really be nice if we had a committee of to reach out to members who are not attending our meetings and ask them what they feel, what is happening, why they haven't attended the meetings. Their dues are paid, but they are not in our meetings. Maybe we could reach out to these individuals and ask them why they have not, or invite them to attend our meetings. Because we have such a small percentage that always attends, and with 148 members, we should have a bigger portion of them attending.
Okay.
Just a suggestion.
So that sounds like a member outreach project.
It sounds like a big outreach.
Mm-hmm. So another volunteer service opportunity for those of you who didn't catch that. So I see Kathy's hand.
Sorry, I'm talking a lot tonight.
No, it's wonderful. I love when you talk.
So I think that this would be a really because we just had a bylaw change, which means they believe they're a member and they're going to get to vote, and they're not going to get to vote if they haven't been to 2 meetings. So if they joined our club just so that they could vote later for endorsements, they're mistaken unless they're carefully paying attention to their email, which I know a lot of us don't because we get so much. So that might be a good thing for us to have member outreach about the new bylaw change. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was club member engagement and running to be part of the board or any club officer is I know you think that you just joined the club and you don't know enough to be on the board and you haven't been around that much or whatever it might be. And please don't let that stop you. I became club secretary and I knew nothing. I mean, I've voted in presidential elections and I voted in every election, but I only worked and got involved in presidential elections for the previous decade. So when I came to this club and I became secretary, I didn't know anything really about the local scene, the clubs or any of it. I learned as I was typing, and it really helped me get a lay of the land and learn a lot about the local scene. And I just want to emphasize that you don't have to be super connected or know a bunch of people. You just have to be willing to commit and put in the time for whatever job or committee you're taking on, and that everybody will be there to help you figure it out.
Thank you for that, Kathy. Oh, thanks, Anne. So I see, the only 2 hands I see are Cody and Rob. Rob?
Yes. I just wanted to share in the area of engagement that the research shows that in particular for women, getting them to run other things, you really have to be purposeful and you have to do it over and over again. And so when we talk about this, it's okay to engage people in multiple different ways because not everyone is going to be good with email. Not everyone's going to be good with phone call.
Right.
Text. And so I just want to, I don't even want to say caution, but just kind of bring up the fact that we should just enjoy that process, knowing that our society has really, there's things in our society that cause the engagement to be different depending on who you're going to be engaging. And so the ideas are great. Having the committee is great. And to ensure that those committees are purposeful and are open to evaluation and doing things differently. And I hope that makes sense because, like I said, just because it made sense in my head doesn't mean.
No, it makes sense. And thank you for sharing those thoughts. All right, so membership strength, we kind of made it through that one, right? Okay, so we'll go to the next one. And that is achievement recognition. So when we're doing updates, so, you know, there are a lot of things that happen. There are candidates who reach milestones and accomplish things. There are bills that get passed. There are, you know, things happen. And the question is, are we doing a good job of celebrating the wins and recognizing the accomplishments of our members? And because, you know, as difficult as all of the issues we are pushing for may be, and as complex as it may be, there are some small victories. I see heads nodding. I don't know. I mean, like, you know, we just got didn't we just get like a big bill passed in the federal government that was like an infrastructure bill? And Nadia.
I think it'd be really great if we did like a spotlight in our newsletter on one member each month maybe, and one organization that's really changing the way that we break down patriarchy and the way that we truly embrace inclusive feminism.
Okay, that's a word. Okay, inclusive feminism. I like it. Michelle.
I like what Nadia was just saying, but I'm here for my first meeting in over a year. I think that you offer an opportunity for elected officials to, shout about what good things have been happening lately, but for every other club member, they need an opportunity too. And I think maybe what Nadia said is a great way to do that. I don't know.
Okay. I like it. Anne.
So again, building on what Nadia said, we used to do that with the League of Women Voters. Is if you had a new member, you'd have, a piece that actually said who that person was and gave a little bit of background. And I think it helped people feel seen. And also, we don't do enough to pat ourselves on the back, I think, sometimes. So having that opportunity that if a member feels like they've got something good going on, that they can bring it up and be recognized for that work would be super helpful. And I'm going backwards a little bit here, but I've been ruminating on this and not wanting to say something that made it seem like I was, being shady on the treasurer membership, but I am curious why one person is doing two jobs, and if that's because they were willing to and that there wasn't somebody to step up, or if it just seemed like they went well together, or what, and if that's maybe an opportunity for us to bring in other people.
That is actually one of the vacancies. I don't know if you recall when we talked about vacancies on the e-board, one of them is treasurer.
Okay, thank you. That answers my question. Again, awesome that somebody was willing to do that in the interim. So good on you.
And we are welcoming volunteers and voluntold. Rob.
Yeah, sorry for coming back in, but back to what Nadia was saying. So another thing to think about is the club does such good work, whether it is issues, whether it is supporting other organizations and things like that. And I always wonder, because I do this with when I'm working with nonprofits, a lot of it around fundraising and other stuff, when you start looking at your list of people you want to contact. But I mean, do members actually know some of the other things that members are doing? And so that issue around getting that information about new members or members that are doing things is a great way to actually recruit more members. Yeah. Because people when people are excited and know you're having a good time or you're making a difference, people are attracted to that. And so I just think learning more about our members and the other things they do besides the club gives an opportunity for expansion, gives an opportunity to talk about issues without being political. You can talk about passion. There's a difference between being political and having passion around a particular subject. So that's just, I think that has a lot more runway as you start laying that out. That was a great foundation place to start from.
Yeah, Nadia is pretty cool. I'm hoping that she'll stick around. All right. So, let's see here. It says 2 participants have their hand raised. Clearly it's not keeping up. Okay, it looks like we don't, Tish, sorry, I didn't see your hand. It kind of blended in with the background in your living room or wherever you are.
Yes, you're right. It does blend in. Okay, I just am kind of wondering, I don't know if I already passed up the topic, But one of the things that, I like to do is be involved in like events. And I know that, with the Women's March, I didn't know if the club was participating in it because I didn't hear anything. And I was fairly new at the time as well. And then I know, like, I know Oktoberfest, I don't know if we had a booth there.
We
Or
did.
see, and I didn't know that. So how, as a member, because I don't get emails or a newsletter, the only time I get anything is to talk about, a reminder about the meeting and to register for the meeting. So I'm not getting that information. So I'm wondering if other members are not getting it. Or is it just you're discussing it and then not letting everybody know?
Let's see, the La Mesa, the Oktoberfest booth, I think we discussed it at 2 meetings and we did include the call in the meeting reminder. So the meeting reminder is actually the newsletter. It's just the lead in every newsletter is, don't forget there's a meeting, because we want y'all to come to the meetings.
Okay.
But it's definitely something we can look at how we can improve, because no matter what we do, it can always be better. So I appreciate that. I think one of the things that I'm hearing is that not everyone is on the mailing list, and not everyone is getting the reminder. So one thing that would be helpful is if everyone who is not getting a reminder could put their email in. I guess we have some work to do behind the scenes too, to make sure that we've got a good reconciliation between our membership roster and our email mailing list.
And one other thing on top of that is, I don't know if there's a Facebook page or a website
Yes.
that has all of these things on there.
There is a Facebook page and a Facebook group.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's
I'll have-
Democratic Women's Club of San Diego for both. And Michelle, they have not been giving reports. In fact, one of the things we have to do is get new energy around who's showing up at which meetings in order to make sure the reports are getting back to our membership. Let's see here. So the last one, you can't see it. It was just, are there any questions? I messed up on my PowerPoint slide. I thank you all for playing this game with me. It's been very, very helpful, and I really appreciate this. I don't always get to do this kind of stuff. So before I close out, I try to touch a lot of different things. Is there anything else that any of you would like to bring up or discuss before I close out this moment of truth conversation? Okay, I think we're good then. Thank you very, very, very much. I really appreciate your patience and participation. Meetings like this don't go well if I do all of the talking. In fact, I probably would have been done about 20 minutes ago, and it just would have been, some navel gazing. And I appreciate everyone who has sent messages in the chat about volunteering, because we have a small and mighty board, but we have a lot of members. And just imagine if everyone just took on one small task, how much we could accomplish. I would say that we are, as women, the largest block of humans in the Democratic Party. And if we could work together, we could really champion some great stuff. So I'm hoping that everyone is hearing the call for participation and for volunteers, because the more people we have doing the work, the more work we can do. And so with that, I'll go into officer reports, and not to pick on any one officer. Is there anyone who would like to give their report first? If not, I'm going to pick on my favorite officer who always has the report ready.
Luana, I need to go good night to children. Here, I'll turn on the camera. speaking time. I'm going to say goodnight.
All
I
right.
don't have anything to report, but I really appreciate everything we learned today, and definitely have some internal weekly tasks to take on based on.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, all right, I'm gonna pick on Rosamund because she's always on top of all her stuff.
Hello, everybody. I hope everybody has a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. I hope that we have a wonderful new year. Everybody gets their booster and we can be able in the future to meet in person. My report is real easy and simple. We have $2,854.06 in the bank at this moment. We have 148 members. And maybe on my part, what I got to thinking is that as we have new members come in, I think it was Jessica that made the suggestion, is that we introduce the new members at the beginning of our meeting and have them speak for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, tell us a little bit about themselves and make them feel more welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rosamund. All right, so who would like to give their report next?
I'll go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna pick on you next if you didn't say anything, because I know you have some stuff.
Well, I don't have a specific, the thing about being an external vice president is I'm engaged with a lot of things in the communities that I've reported on in the past. And I want to acknowledge the internal work that the other board members have done, because they have really devoted an incredible amount of time and experience as longtime club members to keeping our programs going, to keeping our membership growing. And I really do appreciate that. I'm one of the board members whose term is actually ending after the first year, since we staggered this. So since will be replacing me, I just wanted to acknowledge and thank and encourage people to really appreciate the work of the executive board for this club, because it's not easy. There's getting the club charter approved, getting our bylaws amended, finding people to serve. And so thank you, fellow board members, for all the work that you have done and all that you've accomplished. And I agree, it's tough when we can't see each other in person. I brought up at the start of the meeting the idea of speaking in public. I think it's essential to our democracy, quite frankly, for us to participate. And we don't have time to do anything specific on that for this month, but I just encourage people to keep it in mind as you listen to how comments are presented at various public meetings and how they're presented even in our club meetings. Because what we say in a democracy really does influence the direction that we're going to be going as a country into the 2022 midterm elections. So thank you to all my fellow board members for your work. And I've heard rumors of a few people interested in running for the open positions. So I look forward to seeing how this will change in the coming year. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everyone, since we won't see you actually, and Thanksgiving and winter holidays as well. Thank you.
So I will say, in terms of public comment and what has or has not, yes, it is possible, Wanda. What I will say is there was some public comment at a County Board of Supervisors meeting a couple of weeks ago that devolved into hate speech. And Nora Vargas shut it down. And the hate speech was basically someone who had a problem with some of the COVID mandates decided to be very disrespectful to our county medical examiner, and who is a Black woman. And he said something very derogatory. And the People's Advocates for Justice, Shane Harris, bless his heart, actually proposed a policy around speech that incites, that's racially inciting, and asking that the person making public comments that incite racial stereotypes or whatever, that they cede their time. so that they're not just allowed ad nauseum to spew hateful rhetoric and take up people's time in the process. I wish I could give you an update on the response to his letter, but I would say that it might be worthwhile for us to consider, and I can get an update between now and our next meeting, for us to consider supporting a policy of that type.
So, yes, I think civil discourse is important. And if somebody uses profanity, insults someone, racially insulting, or any type of personal insult, especially against staff, not even in elected officials, to me, that's when you cut their mic and thank them for attending and move on to the next person and ask them to be escorted out of the chamber. But that's just me.
So that is basically what Nora did, but it's not policy. And so the hard part is when you leave a practice to the individual being there that has the presence of mind to engage in an action, as opposed to having it become policy or protocol, the results and response is not consistent necessarily. Just something to think about. I appreciate you bringing that up, by the way.
Of course.
Anyone else like to give a report? Nadia. I see your hand, Nadia. I'm recognizing you.
Hello again. If you are not getting in the email list, which I heard a few times this evening, if you could just drop your email into the chat, I can go ahead and add it to the list. We have 2 lists for some reason, and I'm trying to figure out, you'll have to remember that there are a huge amount of apps that are used across the board in different.
I consolidated the lists.
Oh, yay. So I'm just going to skip that whole part of the speech and just tell you that we will get you out all at once. And just drop your email in the chat and we'll get that on there for you. And if you don't receive it, feel free to email me. I'll drop my personal email in the chat as well. And you can just hold on to that and I'll put my phone number there as well. And if you have any questions, you don't get an email, you don't get any kind of information, just go ahead and reach out to me.
Perfect. All right. Anyone else? Okay. All right. Please email Rosamond for information about membership. So I'm thinking we have made it to the end of the agenda. And with that being the case, we can now go into announce. Oh, Nadia, is that a new hand or an old hand?
Old hand.
Okay, no problem. So we did officer reports. Do we have any new business? Oh, Susan.
Yeah, this is not new business. I'm sorry. I wish to just acknowledge the passing of Mary Welsh, who was a member of this club in the very early days. She died of COVID. There is a nice little article about her in the Voice of San Diego, and she was a character for many of us who remember her. She was sometimes difficult to understand, but she was a fixture in the club, and she was a fixture at city council meetings. And I just wanted to take a moment just to remember her.
Thank you for that, Susan. Since no one is bringing up new business, I'm guessing we can go straight to announcements. Does anyone have any announcements they'd like to share? Okay, Anne.
I wanted to let people know as far as somebody asked about regional representation and so I'm involved in the North County Coastal, and one thing that's happening up in our neck of the woods is we're going to be having a fundraiser on December 4th with the Democratic Club of Oceanside and Carlsbad. So if anybody is interested in learning more about that and joining us, it's going to be at someone's home, in their yard, which is a beautiful property in Oceanside and should be a nice afternoon event. So I will put that information there.
Thank you, Ann. Nadia?
Last time, I swear. I'm gonna put on a couple of hats really quick. The county party has a community outreach committee, and I am on that committee. And what we're doing is right now we are raising items to create baskets for families in need in North County. And we are also collecting money in order to buy toys. So we're gonna give out toys to at-need kids. And I'll go ahead and drop the link in the chat as soon as I'm done with this to do it. My second hat is as a member of the South County Caucus. We're putting together a softball game. We encourage everyone to come out and play, come be part of our teams. It's gonna be East Lake Bonita Dems versus Chula Vista Dems versus IB Dems versus Coronado. There's a lot more clubs in the South Caucus, but we're doing it by regional clubs and we're just having a playoff. Even if you just want to come out and laugh at the fact that we can't run or hit a ball, just come out and have fun. I'll give a date to you all, and just, it's all the money that we raise by selling food and water is going to go to charities. So we're just trying to change the blue and make it seem great. The last thing I have is that if you know any LGBTQ youth, I have a nonprofit and we are holding at the Hotel Del on December 13th, an ice skate day. So it's a rainbow ice skate day. Any child 21 and younger is free of charge. They do not have to pay for their ticket. They just get to come out and play. If they need somebody to come pick them up, go ahead and give them our name. We were trying to build equity in South County and one of our most diverse communities all through San Diego. So go ahead and contact me. My email's in there and I'll give you any additional information you need.
Thank you. Susan, is that an old hand or did you have another announcement?
It's an old hand. I didn't lower it. Thanks.
It's okay. Rob, is that an old hand or a new hand?
It's a new one.
All right, go ahead.
If check the chat this Saturday, November 20th, Palomar Faculty Federation and the Labor Council and some community groups are actually doing food distribution, and 300 to 500, and the food will include turkeys. If you want to sign up to volunteer, I put the link in the chat. If you are not officially attached to any of the organizations, I think it's a drop-down menu, then you can put Labor Council. We're gonna start setting up at 7 o'clock, and then we start the distribution once we're ready because people will be in line. But it's really a good set of food. I've been impressed. Fresh fruits and vegetables, they'll get a turkey, and we're trying to do whatever we can to help people, you know, because COVID's not over for a lot of folks. So this Saturday, November 20th, we'll have that food distribution. It'll be at the Palomar College campus. And as you can just imagine, for 300 to 500 sets of food, we're gonna need a bunch of hands because we're doing it still staying safe while we do it, which means you need more hands. Any questions, you can email me. I'll put my email in the chat if you need it.
All right, thank you so much. I mentioned a little earlier the events that I have coming up later this week. Don't see any other hands, any other announcements. I wish everyone a safe, healthy, happy next few weeks. Little weird about holidays because everybody has a different holiday. In fact, the people that don't like to hear happy holidays or season's greetings overlook the fact that there are so many different beliefs and holidays being celebrated over the next few weeks that to single out just one, you don't know which one is important or not important to who. I wish you all the very best. And I hope that this meeting, while it was not festive, my hope is that it was productive and that some of you are thinking about ways that you can engage. I hope to hear from you in the coming weeks, because even though we will not be having a general body meeting in December, I'm not going out of town or anything. So would love to hear your thoughts, because a lot of times people don't have responses in a meeting in the heat of the moment. Some of you are not really going to come up with good examples or ideas until like tomorrow or next week, and I'm here for it. All right, anyone have any last words, anything they want to say, anything they want to ask? All right, I shared with all of you. No?
Hi, Dr. Richmond, thank you. Rob mentioned Oceanside, and this Saturday, I believe it is, Dr. Akila Weber is giving away turkeys at the Jacobs Center this
Okay.
Saturday from 10 to 12, I think it is. I'm
Okay.
trying to volunteer my time anyway. There you go.
All right. That's delightful. All right, so I think that's it. That's all. Some of you were on and know that my day started at 5 o'clock this morning and I am punch drunk. I'm here. I'm here for you all. But the next thing on the agenda is adjourning. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second? Anybody?
Second.
All right. Any objections to adjourning the meeting?
Great
All right.
meeting.
All right, thank you all. Thank you for your time and attention. Rob, thank you for tuning in from the road. Your feedback and input has been invaluable. I really appreciate everybody humoring me and participating and engaging in today's meeting.
I
And if you have
appreciate
a friend that all right, if you have a friend that wasn't here, tell them they missed something and they need to be at our next meeting. Because I think that's the other part. We got to all exert a little bit of peer pressure. All right, thank you and good night. I'm going to save the chat and send it to you, Kathy, so that you have it. I think that might be helpful and useful.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Good
you
night.
all. Good
Good night, you
night.
guys.
Good
Happy
night.
holidays.
I'm getting there.
Can you email me the chat? Because I'm on my phone and I don't know how to save it.
Yeah, I'll email you the chat.
All right, I'm gonna send you the flyer for the NAACP Youth Council, and the firefighters are doing a Jazz and Joke show on December 17th. It's a Friday, and you must come, and I want you to come and bring your Afrofuturism costumes. That'll be cool.
All right. I'll look for one that's kid friendly.
All right. There you go.
All right.
I'll
All right.
talk to you.
All right.
All right.
Bye.